Well, now my waiting.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Commissioner Luck, Commissioner Brasted, Commissioner West, Commissioner Savraja,
Yes.
Commissioner Meisner, Commissioner Gamache, Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
Then we have review of checks issued from Finance and Central Services and from Human Services. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Then we have approval of the minutes from our January 8th statutory and organizational county board meeting and our regular county board meeting. Is there a motion to approve both of those minutes?
I would move both.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. So we have two items today under Chair's remarks. The first is to recognize staff involvement in an innovation program which received an Association of Minnesota Counties Achievement Award last month. In 2016, 6 separate heroin deaths occurred in Anoka County within a 12-hour period. 2 of those ended in death. Following these tragedies, we recognized that there was a lack of understanding around the dangers of heroin, opiates, and prescription painkillers. To face this growing problem head-on, Anoka County created the Chemical Health and Heroin Initiative, and 3 work groups were established. These teams involved a cross-section of department staff from public health, social services, and communications, who engaged with community partners to provide education, support, and prevention around the current drug crisis. They worked very hard, really stepping outside the box, trying some innovative approaches, putting information ads in movie theaters, doing the Top Secret project in order to really educate parents in the community about some of the things that they could actually recognize in their kids' own rooms. Drop-off site, prescription drug drop-off sites, making more marketing and awareness of some of those opportunities that were available, encouraging people to go through their medicine cabinets and get rid of all of those old prescription drugs so that it wasn't tempting to folks who might be visiting them. So joining us today is Janelle Hubbard, Director of Public Health and Environmental Services, to tell us more about this life-saving initiative.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Once again, my name is Janelle Hubbard, Director of Public Health and Environmental Services. First, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to celebrate this award, recognizing the Chemical Health and Heroin Initiative with you today. The 3 work groups that were established to address this community issue included the Top Secret Project Work Group, the Resources and Marketing Work Group, and the Drop-Off Site Work Group. The Top Secret Work Group coordinated 4 educational events, which encompassed 8 school districts here in Anoka County. The Top Secret Project is a unique exhibit designed to help parents recognize unfamiliar hazards that are often in plain sight. Using a simulated teenager's bedroom, the interactive exhibit includes hundreds of items seen through an educated lens, could be a sign that there is a problem. Through this event, we were able to increase parents' understanding of the issues facing our youth today. The Resource and Marketing Work Group identified gaps in chemical health education, coordinated education materials that reduce these gaps, and enhance community strategies targeted to prevent drug use. The Drop-Off Site Work Group organized a list of locations in Anoka County which residents can drop off their prescription medications. The address, dates, and times for the drug take-back for each location is posted on our website. Now I'd like to take a minute to recognize and say thank you to our work group leaders. First off, Top Secret Projects leader Diane Hoffman, and she's unable to be here today. Resources and Marketing Work Group leaders Gretchen Etzler and Denise Kermis. our drop-off sites work group leader, Monica Halverson, and our public information leader, Dave Schwenk. The dedication and effort of each of these leaders made to engage our community partners was absolutely exceptional. Moving forward, this team of leaders are focusing their attention on revising our program website to ensure that there is adequate and efficient community access to the resources in our community and in our state. Thank you again, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to be a part of this important work.
Well, I want to, first of all, I think they all deserve a round of applause.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank each and every one of you for your incredible efforts. It really was going above and beyond, and just the passion that you showed, that's, I think, what really made this project successful. And why it was recognized. Each and every one of you brought something different to the table, and that energy and passion, even if it meant, being at a local school till 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night as you're cleaning, putting the bedroom away and everything else. There was a lot of work that went into this, and I just really appreciate those incredible efforts. And I think, more importantly, hopefully the public really understands the dangers of opiates, and hopefully prevent more drug-related fatalities. And again, just want to thank you so much for your incredible work. And it was a well-deserved award, I would say.
Madam Chair, if I could present you with this award, please.
I would just comment that, and Commissioner Schulte, as the new president of AMC, would probably echo this. It is not very often that you have one county that receives an award like almost every year, or at least even 2 years in a row. They usually try to spread it around a little bit. And, it just speaks to our incredible staff, just overall, because we received an award last year as well. And actually, there were 2 awards this year, this as well as the Volunteer program through the library system, which I think is kind of unheard of.
Madam Chair, if I could comment, I would just say that as being president this year, it's incredibly humbling to look at the awards that Anoka County receives year in and year out, and it's almost become expected. AMC looks to Anoka County as being leaders and innovators. To me, though, it's not the awards. It's the programs that derive the award. It's the saving of lives by making people aware of opiates. It's the Volunteer program at the library and the good it does. It's not the award that matters as much as the actual program, but it is great that we're recognized by our statewide colleagues, and I wholly congratulate staff for all the hard work they do to innovate and make these programs come to life, because it is the program that gets the award. It should be. It shouldn't be Anoka County. It should be the program within the county. So for that, thank you for your work, and it doesn't go unnoticed across the state of how the good work you're doing and how you want to lead the way.
Okay. Now, moving on to our second item. Anoka County was also recognized by the Local Government Innovation Award in December at the University of Minnesota's Humphrey School of Public Affairs for our collaborative partnership to enhance foster care recruitment and the Connected Kids initiative. So if you may recall, like other agencies, we were really struggling to get more foster care providers. At the same time, we had people who were retiring. We also had an increase of need in the foster care system because of all of the changes at the state level around child protection. So we really were in a crisis situation with those numbers just continuing to dwindle. And so the Connected Kids initiative created really a new and innovative pathway to increase awareness of not only the needs, but also the interest in becoming a family foster provider within our community. So Jerry Peterson, our Director of Community Social Service and Behavioral Health, is going to introduce the team and share more about the incredible success of this program. Jerry?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I'm sorry, I'm taking this picture. Always catches me. I just love that picture. Thank you also for just the opportunity to be in front of you to celebrate this local government innovation award with you and with our partners. It is always so humbling to stand in front of you because I know of all the work that goes on with all the individuals, many who aren't here, to make these programs and these innovative ideas successful. For a number of years, you have encouraged us to be innovative and to meet the needs of our residents. The foster care recruitment effort and the Connected Kids Initiative is an example of how creative thinking, fantastic partners, and the right support can bring about positive results. This all started with a no room in the inn kind of situation, as the Commissioner described. We did not have enough family foster care homes for our kids coming into the child protection system, and those numbers were in a decline. We needed to do something. A pastor stepped forward and agreed to work with us on recruitment methods that allowed for easier matching of church volunteer passion with community agency and family need. This has grown into several agencies, excuse me, working together informally, not only on recruitment of homes, but ongoing efforts to partner and share how we can connect kids and families to the resources we need, thus the Connected Kids Initiative. Through this initiative and staff efforts, we have increased our application numbers significantly over the last 3 years, about 56%, which is pretty significant from where we started at. And that doesn't go to the orientation. There's also an initial step in the orientation and just getting people to our door, and that number is even higher. We've increased our number of licensed homes in the same period by about 25%. And I know my staff could attest to the challenge it is in this environment with the age of individuals, how busy they are and their interests, how significant that is as well, and the efforts they've done. The last 2 years, we've had 30 new licensed traditional open child foster care homes each year, 2017, 2018. That's a significant accomplishment. I have here today our main partners and staff who represent the heart of what LGIA Award is about. Lisa Welter, and if you guys would stand, I know. Director of Safe Families. Lisa was the original pastor at the beginning who had the energy, vision, and commitment to do something new and creative. Since that time, she has moved on to be the Director of Safe Families, which has kept this initiative and is a heart and soul of the communication and the messaging about our need and the need of other agencies as well. I also have Lisa Pung-Michelson, the YMCA Executive Director. Lisa and her agency have been with us since the very beginning. I can remember those first open houses, and their agency's work around homeless youth and the need for host homes have been a part of this effort, and we appreciate so much their help and their approach. Without their leadership and vision, much of what has been accomplished would not have happened. I also have some staff here. Suzanne Tuttle, Manager of Children and Family Services, Darcy Holter, Supervisor of Foster Care Licensing, and Julie Ledeen, Lead Worker for Foster Care Licensing. You know, for government, faith-based initiatives are not always seamless. They take some flexing and bending. And without these staff leaders and their willingness to bend and flex and be a part of this initiative, this award and the positive outcomes and new developments would not have been possible. I can only thank them on and on and on. I just want to say thank you again to this board who supports not only positive partnerships, but innovation that can lead to positive results and good things for those we serve. Madam Chair?
Well, I think they also deserve a huge round of applause. Incredible partnership, incredible leadership, and that commitment to continue to move forward. You know, hit bumps along the way, and you need to take a slight turn. But all of you really hung in there till the end, and incredible results. At a time when the state of Minnesota, really every county is struggling in this area, and the state had no answers other than the traditional foster care recruitment, which just wasn't closing the gap. To have this model be able to show success in such a short period of time is truly miraculous. And I understand that a number of other counties are actually interested in this model as well. And I know in conversations with Lisa, Congressman Stauber even reached out and wanted to learn about what was happening here. So really, again, thank you to each and every one of you for your incredible leadership. And it is nice to see these innovative approaches not just start and then stay in one area. Really, the goal of these sorts of things is for it to be sustainable and be able to be replicated across the state. So again, congratulations and thank you for your incredible work.
Madam Chair?
I say again, this speaks to our incredible staff and their hard work and their willingness to be innovative and work with different partners. The Local Government Innovation Awards, there aren't that many given out, and Anoka County has consistently, since the time they started these awards, received awards through this this program. So pretty special and just speaks to the incredible work. So thank you again. All right, now we will move on to Management Committee report. Commissioner Brastad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee met on January 8th, and we have one action item. And this is a reclassification in employee relations. It's a 1.0 FTE, Administrative Services Assistant, moving to a 1.0 FTE, Employee Relations Business Analysis.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brastad?
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that concludes my report.
Now we will move on to the Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our committee did meet on Monday, the 14th of January at 9 o'clock here in the Government Center. However, we did not achieve a quorum, so for that reason I have a chair's report for you today. And we have two action items for you. First, I would recommend approval of a resolution setting the 2019 spring weight restrictions on the county highway system.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
Just a reminder, this is an annual thing we do every year. As the roads change, we have to have spring weight restrictions to keep the heavy vehicles off during when the frost comes out of the highway system.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Next, I would recommend that we set Mondays, 8 days prior to the county board meeting, as our regular transportation committee days for 2019, with the exception of the 5 dates listed. And those would be the 18th, February 18th would be moved to February 19th, which would be a Tuesday at 2 o'clock here in the Government Center. All of these would be in the Government Center here. March 4th would be moved to February 28th at 9 a.m. And July 15th would be moved to Wednesday, July 17th at 9 a.m. September 2nd to September 3rd, and December 9th to December 5th. All of these meetings would be being moved due to conflicts with either national or statewide organizational meetings that, or holidays that these meetings don't necessarily work well with, so we've altered the dates to on your calendars to these dates listed. And I would make a motion to that effect.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
And under informational items, I will just point out the Transportation Advisory Board did meet on the regional solicitation for the years 22 and 23. Anoka County fared fairly well. There was one project that we had hoped to get included in this solicitation that we didn't get, and that's an entrance ramp for County Road J, I believe, off of 35. Something we'll continue to work towards, but it's a regional body, and we did score well on a number of projects that will come to fruition in 22 and 23. Just missed out on the one. Thanks particularly to Commissioner Look, who attends TAB on a regular basis and lobbies heavily on our behalf and works hard for Anoka County. So thank you, Commissioner Look. And that does conclude my report, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you. Now we will move on to the Finance and Capital Improvements Committee report. Commissioner Look.
Madam Chair, thank you. The Finance and Capital Improvements Committee met on January 15th, and we came away with 4 action items. We'll get right into them. The first one is the committee recommends the county board approve the following related to the rehabilitation of Stepping Stone Shelter. There's an A and B to this motion. Essentially, we go out for bids on this, and as a governmental entity, we're responsible to select the lowest, most responsible bidder. And the lowest bidder in this case, we are suggesting that we should not accept that. We should reject the lowest bidder, go with the second lowest bidder, which we have based on experience with them. We can get into the reasons as to the rejection if you would so wish. But otherwise, item A, and I don't know if you want to take these individually or together. Item B is to approve contract C007024 with Woodcrest Building and Remodeling, which was the second bidder for $278,460. Base bid plus alternates 1 and 2 and 4. Skipping 3 for a contingency in the amount of $21,540 for a total amount not to exceed $300,000. In the event that we don't use that contingency, then we want to try and go back and look at alternate 3, which is a remodeling of offices.
Madam Chair, I would move items 1A and B.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion?
Madam Chair, I would just comment under letter A that it was, I think from my understanding, mostly to do with inconsistencies within the bid document. Totals and tallies that weren't accurate, and just concerns from that respect that we determined that that was not a good bid and moved on to the second lowest bidder.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Commissioner Brasted?
Motion carries. Next item.
Madam Chair, the second item is the committee recommends the county board approve the following master contracts for furniture moving, installation, repairs, and storage services. We had contracts before with office and industrial services, alternative business furniture, and we are adding all furniture as a third master contract item. And as the needs arise to move staff around or relocate or whatever the case may be, These master contracts are in place then to utilize these services. It is on an as-needed basis, and the annual amount is a few thousand perhaps that we actually end up spending on these relocation services, but it's important for efficiencies within the department to have these master contracts in place.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
So moved by Commissioner Look, second by Commissioner Gamache. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja? Aye. Commissioner Meisner? Aye. Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Madam Chair, the third item is the committee recommends the county board approve the following related to the University of Minnesota Extension Unit. Two parts to this. The first part is a memorandum of agreement, contract C000721 between the University of Minnesota and Anoka County for providing extension programs locally and employing extension staff. Item B is a 2019 budget adjustment of $29,037 for the extension program.
Is there a motion to approve items 3A and B?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja?
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
And Madam Chair, the fourth item is the committee recommends the county board approve the annual redesignation of depositories to U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, and BMO Harris Bank. This is an annual designation that we do to identify the areas in which we put our dollars and to safeguard those dollars in these particular banks named.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Right. Thank you. Then we will move on to the Human Services Committee report. We have just a few items. We have a couple of items on the consent agenda. Unless someone wants to pull something out separately, I will move approval of the consent agenda. Is there a second? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Motion carries. Under Behavioral Health, consider recommending the county board enter into contract C0006911, a renewal with Volunteers of America, Minnesota Board and Lodge for community support services for adults with serious and persistent mental illness at $6,579.25 per month from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2020. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Motion carries. Then we have Resolution 2019-HS1 Economic Assistance Bills. I will offer the resolution. Is there further discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Motion carries. Then we have Resolution 2019-HS2, accepting donations for human services. We had 15 different groups who have donated money for the campership program and wanted to acknowledge their generosity. So I will offer the resolution. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja? Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Motion carries. And that concludes my report. Now we will move on to the Parks Committee report. Commissioner Gamache.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Parks Committee met on Tuesday, January 15th. Here at the Anoka County Government Center, we had 2 action items. The committee recommends that the county board approve Resolution 2019 PRK01, accepting a gift from Connexus Energy to fund natural and cultural history programming through Wargo Nature Center. This has been an ongoing gift that we received from Connexus Energy now for 28 years. It goes to a lot of different programs that we run, natural and cultural programming at Wargo. And I believe also, Mr. Perry, if I'm not mistaken, we do something across the road, and some of that money goes there as well for some of the student teaching thing that goes on, right?
That is correct. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Jeff Perry, Park Director for Anoka County. And the Heritage Lab is a fall-based program that serves about 1,500 students across the street from Wargo Nature Center for natural and cultural history. So very popular program, valued by the community.
It's a very good program, and we appreciate Connexus Energy funding this and helping us out for a number of years now. And we'll move the resolution.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja?
Aye.
Commissioner Meissner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte? Commissioner Look?
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The next item is for the committee to recommend to the county board to approve Resolution 2019 PRK02, supporting the submission of a grant funding application for a potential parcel acquisition adjacent to Rum River Central Regional Park. We've had a master plan since 1996. The Parks Department has identified parcels that are adjacent to Rum River Central, and one of those parcels has come up for sale. The owner has decided that they're going to be moving, and they offered it to the Parks Department for purchase, and it's something that we've been looking at for a long time. Obviously, it gives us a good opportunity to continue to add to the parkland, but it also offers us an opportunity that we don't have a house right next to our parks. And so this is a great piece of property. They got a nice home and a nice garage on there that we might be able to make use of. And I'm not sure, Jeff, if you have anything else to add to that, but it's a nice opportunity for us, so we're going to take advantage of it if we can.
Yeah, Madam Chair, Commissioner Gamache, yeah, it is. It's truly a beautiful piece of property. It's approximately 5 acres. It's oak forest, and it will tie in nicely to the regional park boundary. So as Commissioner Gamache had indicated, it's been identified as a future acquisition for the county since the mid-1990s. And it's not very often when we get a willing seller that comes in and wants to sell their property to the county for park purposes. And again, this would qualify for Park and Trail Legacy funding through the state of Minnesota, so there would be no county tax dollars used for the acquisition.
Commissioner Look.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to provide a little history on this. I recall you mentioned 96, and I was running back in my mind to try and recall that time. I was serving on the Ramsey City Council, and the county was presenting kind of the master plan. And there's been some history with this parcel, 100 acres or 80 acres or whatever it was prior, that eventually became the park. And there was an elderly woman that owned the house, and she was very concerned over, the prospect of losing this house too, as well as the balance of her property that she had lost prior, and was in tears actually over the whole thing. And we were able to advocate on her behalf at the city. And it just goes to show you that with a little patience, now with her passing and the children, wanting to liquidate the parcel, that things generally do work out in the end. And this is, as was mentioned, was a willing seller, and a very positive outcome at this point to this property. So I'll go ahead and offer the resolution.
Resolution has been offered. Is there further discussion? And I would just comment, I know that historically, going back before any of our time on the county board, I think that when the park system was first established, they did utilize eminent domain for park property. This county board has not done that. That is not in line with our values. We recognize that in the case of road projects, you often have to use eminent domain. But in the case of parks, that is just not something that we've done, and something that I have appreciated. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Commissioner Gamache?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Other action items, the committee reviewed and provided comment on the Parks Department 10-year capital project forecast for 2019 to 2028. That's just kind of looking at all the different projects that we have coming up over the next 10-year period. And we adopted our meeting calendar as well for the 2019. We will be meeting on the first Tuesday of every month, and we are going to be having all our meetings this year at Bunker Activity Center. We'll hold them all right there. A lot of times in the past, we've moved them around to different parks, but we're going to do them all at one place this year. Our next meeting is February 5th. We also did have a discussion regarding the possible repurposing of Chamonix Golf Course. And I know that has brought up some issues over the weekend on Facebook and things like that, but we are in the very early stages of looking at this. There are some issues that we want to address. There has been some budgetary issues that we want to make sure we don't want to be running a golf course that we're losing money on. So we thought we needed to have to take a close look at this, look at the revenues coming in, the expenses going out, so that we can actually do right by the taxpayers. And so we've begun the process. We came up with some ideas as to what we could do with the property if we would move down that path, but we're not at that point right now. So we have had some people reach out to us. I have actually made a phone call to the TwinCitiesGolf.com website because they posted a petition to stop stop us from shutting down Chamonix Golf Course, as they put it, and they offered that they could run it better, or they thought it could be run better. So I thought I'd reach out and ask them what ideas they might have, because we're open to all ideas, all thoughts that people might have as to where to go with this. It's wasn't on the top of my agenda when I was honored with being named the chair to close the golf course in our first meeting or even second meeting. So there's always an opportunity that we can hear from people, and we had some people here today, and I know that they probably had some good ideas. So we'll talk and we'll listen. There's always new things that we can learn. So we're in the beginning of the process. We will meet on the 5th. We offered City of Lino Lakes to come to our last meeting, and they came and asked some questions. We sent them some information regarding our financials, and they took a look at them, and they're going to hopefully get back to us within a week or two before the meeting. Maybe they'll let us know what they're thinking, if they've got any ideas. It's a beautiful golf course, there's no doubt about it, but it's been on the negative side, running on the red for a number of years now. So there's something that we do need to look at, and we need to make sure that we're crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, we're not missing something. So we want to make sure that that's what we're doing. So we had some good discussion on it at that meeting. We'll have some more discussion on it on the 5th. Again, we'll be at the Bunker Activity Center. If anyone wants to come and offer some ideas, we'll be more than happy to listen. We've got some big rooms there, and I asked Mr. Perry to make sure that we reserve one just in case we have a large turnout, and we'll be able to do that. So, and that should wrap up my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. And I would just comment, I know I mentioned to Commissioner Gamache earlier this morning, and obviously for the edification of this board, who this will be a decision coming to on the February 5th Parks agenda. But I guess I would, given some additional information that I have been able to gather as well, and talking to Jeff, I think what I would like to look at proposing at that meeting is, really bringing someone in to do a thorough evaluation as to what might be the best way to really turn it around. Obviously, we need to be making sure that it truly is operating like a business, and that means also making sure that some of those things are in place to ensure that that happens. because the golf industry may operate very differently than other businesses. So my proposal will be to look at really giving it a good shot and really give it our all for the next 3 years. And if we're able to turn it around, then I think that is the most positive thing possible. And if we're not, then it gives us an opportunity to continue to have discussions beyond them. So I know that discussion will be taking place on February 5th.
Thanks.
Now we will move on to the Public Safety Committee Chair Report. Commissioner Brastad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have 2 items on my chair report. The first is under the Sheriff's Office to recommend adoption of Resolution 2019 PS02, acknowledging the retirement and transfer of ownership of Anoka County Sheriff's Office K-9 Croc to Deputy James Syke and K-9 Brody to Deputy Patrick Darso. And I would offer that resolution.
Resolution has been offered. Is there further discussion?
Madam Chair, just a quick clarification that it is PS01, not PS02.
Oh, yep. All right. Very good. And certainly appreciate the incredible service of these 2 officers as well as their canines. And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Now we'll move on to PS02. I got ahead of myself. I would recommend adoption of Resolution 2019 PS02, which is basically a renewal of our county board authorization of Anoka County to continue to participate in the multi-jurisdictional all-hazard mitigation planning process.
Is there not for the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now we'll move on to committee appointments. Consider appointing Jeff Lundgren, North Metro Pediatrics, to the Anoka County Children and Family Council for a term ending January 31st, 2022. The next one is to consider appointing Janice Martineau Dunlop to the Library Board for a term expiring December 31st, 2021, representing District 5 as recommended by Commissioner Gamache. And then the final one is for informational purposes, my appointment of Lori Higgins, the Metro North Chamber President, to the Anoka County Workforce Development Board for a term expiring June 30th, 2020. So is there a motion to approve items 8, A, and B?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brastad, second by Commissioner Gamache. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. And if there's nothing else to come before the county board, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. We'll convene the HRA meeting.